Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe Rhodes, and thank you for checking out this video. This will be the very first lesson video I put out, and it's Post Malone, Circles, the single off of his newest album, Hollywood Bleeding. Really, I should have done this video sooner. The song's been out for a couple of months now, and as soon as it came out, I loved it, and I learned it immediately, but for some reason I just didn't think to make a lesson video about it. But this will be the first one. So if you make it all the way to the end of the video, let me know in the comments below how I did, and if you have any questions at all about the lesson, let me know and I'll try to answer them for you. And if you have any other songs you might want to see lesson videos about, let me know down there also, and I will try to learn them and make a video for you if I like it. So getting right into this, we're going to start with that little riff in the beginning where you're picking single notes. And you can play it a little bit higher than I do, but I play it down here so that I can play open strings, because I think open strings are really pretty. I like to use them as much as I can. So I'm going to be playing it down here. But getting into this, we're going to go and start on the open G string, which will obviously be a G. And then we're going to go to the second fret of the G string, which will give us an A. And then back to open G. And then we're going to end with the second fret of the D string, which will give us an E note. It's all together, really easy. We'll play it twice, right? Like I just did. And then we're going to have this second or third part, depending on how you count, that's going to start the exact same way, and then we'll just add a few notes to end it. So it starts the same way. Then we're going to play that E that we just played a second time, and then open D, which will obviously be a D note, and then again, back to second fret, and second fret open, then open D one more time, ending on third fret A string, which will give us a C note. So all together, that's... And like I said, if it's hard for you to follow along with me just telling you what frets to play, I'll have that tab right here for you to look at. If you want to pause the video, I recommend that and learn it real quick. This section here is maybe a piece that you're not going to play by yourself if you're just playing this song for your friends, if y'all are just singing along, you're strumming guitar. But it is nice to know, and I would be amiss if I didn't teach it to you. So now we're going to get into the real reason you probably came to this video, which is the chords. Alright, so starting with the chords. The chords we're playing in this song sound kind of complicated on paper. Our first chord here is Cmaj7. But if you know this chord already, then you know it's a really easy chord. And if you don't, it'll pop up right here. So the chords actually don't start until halfway into the intro. The guitar anyways doesn't. In the beginning, it's just the single notes and maybe like the synthesizer. And then when the drums come in during the second half of the intro, that's when the guitar hits. And there's a couple of other places in this song where the guitar isn't exactly up front or isn't playing at all. But we're going to pretend like the guitar is the main focus of the instrument. Because if we're playing this just for our friends or we're playing it by ourselves and we're not playing along with the song, you're probably just going to be strumming the whole time, right? So we're going to pretend like the guitar is in there the entire time. So it's going to start with that C major 7 that I mentioned just a few seconds ago, right? And C major 7 is a real easy chord to play, like I said. It's going to start with our third finger on the A string, then our second finger on the D string, and then the rest of our strings we're going to play open. And we're not going to be playing our low E string at all with this chord. I like to bring my thumb over the top and kind of mute that string a little bit. You don't have to. Just miss that string while you're strumming, right? And let's talk about our strum pattern real quick. That's going to be the kind of trickier part of this song if you're not real familiar with strumming. It's going to be like this. I'm going to see if I can't put that strum pattern up here as well. So it's going to go down, 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 up, right? Like that. And then back. Now we're going to start with up again. It's kind of hard to just say while I'm playing it. So like I said, I'm going to have it right here for you. Now, after we play that Cmaj7 for 2 measures, we're going to change to Fmaj7, right? Now, there's a couple different ways to play Fmaj7, but the way I play it makes it to where the bass note of the chord isn't lower than the C we just played, which is kind of essential in my opinion. It makes it sound a little bit better. I'll say that again. We're playing an Fmaj7 that is higher than the Cmaj7 we were just playing, right? And that should make it sound a little bit nicer in my opinion. So Fmaj7 is going to kind of have like this staircase, I call it, going on, which what I mean by that is we're playing the third fret D string, right? Second fret G string, first fret B string, and then open E string. So it's going to go 3, 2, 1, open, right? And right here again. So all together, if you're playing the chord, it should sound like that, right? Like I said, there's a bunch of different ways to play Fmaj7. You could even add that C into the bass, right? But in the interest of simplifying things, which I have done throughout this song, we're just going to be playing this version, which I find the easiest. So we're going to play Cmaj7 for 2 measures, and then we're going to play Fmaj7 for 2 measures. Then we're going to play Fmaj7 again for 2 more measures, right? And now we're going to play Fmaj7 for 1 measure, and then we're going to switch to F major for 1 measure, right? Like this. And now I'm playing a bar chord here, and some people have trouble with bar chords, but in my opinion, the bar chord version of F major is going to be better than just playing this version that a lot of people play, the substitute, because it puts the bass, the root note, in this case F, lower than the Fmaj7 we were just playing, which is going to help our transition sound better, right? And that's the first half of the intro. The second half of the intro is going to be the exact same, except we're going to play an F minor bar chord at the end instead. And I'm realizing just now I didn't actually talk about the F major bar chord, so we're going to talk about both of those right now. So F major is going to consist of us laying our entire finger, our entire first finger, across all of the strings of the first fret. That's where, that's the bar in bar chord. We're laying our first finger across all the strings on the first fret. And now we're making kind of an E major shape, right? Except it's a fret up, a fret higher, if you're familiar with E major, where we have our third finger, third fret of the A string, our fourth finger, fourth fret of the D string, and our second finger is going to be on the second fret of the G string, right? We put all that together, and we'll get F major. Now, the only difference between F major and F minor is 1 note, what's called the third. We're flattening it. And in order to do that with this shape, all we're doing is taking our second finger and lifting it up. So we go from having our second finger on the second fret of the G string to not playing that, not using that finger at all, and instead playing a first fret on that string through us barring all those strings with our first finger. That's going to give us that F minor, right? Yeah, like that. And again, right here. And I'm going to put in a chord chart down in the description. I should have mentioned that earlier. But there's going to be a chord chart to this whole song down in the description below. And if you need to pause the video at any point and watch it, that's no problem. But that's all the chords to the intro. Alright, so now we're on to the first verse. Now, the first verse, the first half of the first verse is one of those places I was talking about earlier where there's not actually any guitar playing. But we can just play the guitar and add it in there like we would if we were playing along with the second half of the verse. So there's 2 options here, really. One option is just to single strum the chords, right? Like that. Another option is just to continue playing the same strum pattern that we've been playing the whole song, right? See? It's that simple. Now, What I like to do here for the first half of the verse is, instead of playing C major 7 and F major 7, I just play a regular C and a regular F. Now, regular C is going to be the same as our F major 7, except we're adding the first fret B string, like this. The reason I do that is because then, in the second half of the verse, when the guitar actually would come in the original song, we can change back to us playing C major 7 and F major 7. And in doing that, we'll still get somewhat of a transition. In the original song, that transition is brought on by the guitar suddenly start playing and the drums hitting a little bit different, right? But we can simulate a sort of transition with just an acoustic guitar by changing those regular kind of bass chords we're playing to be the substitute chords that we've been playing this whole time, the major 7 chords, right? So it'll go from sounding like this, right? To us playing the major 7s. And this is where a bit of dynamics can come into play. You can be strumming soft in the first half of the verse, and then when the guitar would really come in, then you can start strumming a lot harder. But for the first half of the verse, it's going to be C for 2 measures, F for 2 measures, C for 2 measures, then F for 2 measures, right? Then we'll go to C major 7 for 2 measures, F major 7 for 2 measures, C major 7 for 2 measures, and then we'll play F major 7 for 1 measure, and then it'll stop completely. We're not going to play any guitar for a second, and that's when the bass line does its thing. That's right before the chorus comes in, right? And so when we do that, it'll go like this. Watch. We do this every time. That's it for the verses. Like I said, I know I went through that pretty fast, but there's a chord chart to go along with everything I'm telling you in the description below. Now let's move on to our chorus, right? What I was just playing. All right, so for the chorus, we don't have any new chords at all to learn, but we are going to change a couple of things, right? So for the chorus, we'll start by playing our C major 7, and then we'll go to F major, the regular F major, and then F minor. Like that. Hopefully I don't scare some of you off with my singing. I'm not a singer. Like I just said a minute ago, this isn't a singing lesson, but it's going to be C major 7, F major, and F minor. And F major and F minor, of course, are going to be only 1 measure each. Then we're going to get to the middle of the chorus, the kind of apex of the song, if you will, where Post starts singing a lot higher. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to substitute that F major we were playing with F major 7, another chord we've already learned. We've been using this whole song, right? So. And then to finish out the chorus, it's going to be back to just a regular C major 7, F major, F minor, right? Now the second verse is going to be exactly the same as the first verse. So we're going to go ahead and skip all the way to the bridge. Now the bridge is going to introduce a new chord to us, but it's a really easy chord. So our new chord is going to be C over B. And all that means is we're adding a B to the C chord and making it the lowest note in the chord, or the bass note, if you will. And in order to do that, we're going to, it might be easiest if you start making a regular C major chord. And now what we're going to do is bring our second finger up to the A string of the second fret. And we're going to take our third finger and bring it down to the D string and put it on the second fret as well. But we'll also have our first fret B string still. And it'll sound like this. Right? And so for the bridge, we're going to be doing single strums, right? For the first half. And it'll go. And that's it for the bridge. It just does that twice. Now, I like to start strumming again the second half of the bridge, real softly. That's the dynamics we were talking about earlier. And then the third chorus, the last chorus, is going to be exactly the same as what we've been playing so far. You might take some liberties at the end, though. You can mess with when you go to single strumming, when you stop strumming entirely. Play around with the end of the chorus and the ending of the song, and just have fun with it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I know I went a little fast, but I'm hoping you should be able to follow along with the chords I've put up on screen and the chord chart in the description below. If you have any other questions, like I said in the beginning of the video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will be sure to try to answer them to my best ability. And if you really liked this video and you had fun learning it, let me know by leaving a like on the video, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching.